But also the wild card in play for this afternoon is the tyre rainbow. Drivers will have to use all 5 compounds for at least 5 laps over the course of this 58% race.
Yeah, because he's jumped up into P5. That could be crucial for the constructors' battle with that guy Vince 6th at best. That is an excellent lap from F1 Scott. Can Punji try and back him up in the second papaya car? Kareem is improving by a decent chunk, 3.5 tenths, and barring any whoopsies in the final couple of corners, this should be snatching provisional pole back from the Ferrari of Razin Chai. He does by a couple of tenths.
Punji's invalidated. He's not going to be quicker. The other Haas of Lolly Noba, another driver so quick in Formula 2. Couldn't quite pip him out, though. He will only go second at the moment. But Meraki, out of absolutely nowhere. Provisional pole position for the Williams man himself. And wow, what a lap so far. There's still drivers setting lap times, though. Can Gillen go faster? He's gone purple middle sector.
Needs to find a little bit more in the final sector, though. He's 4 tenths down on Meraki, currently 2.5 tenths up. This would be a real buzzer beater for Gillen as Nogueira pips Formula Kareem to jump onto the front row. Razin Chai was on pole position, but 30 seconds ago. Now finds himself down in 5th, potentially 6th with Gillen still improving.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye how he progresses. 2 more corners to try and navigate here in Abu Dhabi. 1 now remaining. The descending right-hander. What can Alex Gillen do? He'll run up towards the line. It's not going to be provisional pole. It's for P4 at best. Unless F1 Scott can come disrupt the party. No, he's in towards the pit lane. That's going to mean Meraki is at the front of the grid for today's racing.
Well, we're finally looking at the best view. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And after a bit of delay, there we go. We're underway for the final time in Season 8 and in 2024. Look at Formula Kareem darting to the left and to the right to try and get a march on the drivers in front. Bit of a bottleneck as the Alpine now runs wide, getting caught up behind Nogueira and behind Meraki. And Alex Gillen says thank you very much as he's going to try and challenge that Alpine car. But it's Kareem just about holding him off.
Yeah, Kareem just holding on through the twists and turns, and it's Meraki leading from Nogueira, from Alex Gillen, Formula Kareem down the inside, trying to make a move. One of the Haas cars of Lolly Noba got a little bit wobbly, threw himself in towards the hairpin. Blackmere having connection issues further back, but no one else will be too worried to that as we run down towards the chicane. Look at the slipstream that Alex Gillen finds himself in here. He moves towards the inside, late on the brakes for the kick-start, but he's down the inside. Meraki lets him have it, and Gillen, after just 7 turns of this Grand Prix, takes the race lead away.
We're definitely going to be talking about them in maybe 10 or 15 laps time. Meraki, not a good run through turn number 5, and that could be all the invitation that Nogueira leaves. But look at that. Alex Gillen blocking off the Mercedes. Is it going to be 3 wide down to turn number 6? No, Meraki gets past the pair of them. Through goes the Williams back into the lead of the race. Alex Gillen late on the brakes. Was there a little bit of contact? It's the Williams that's going to come off second best. Can Razin Chai try and stick his Ferrari nose in there? I don't think he can, and will stay in 4th place. Formula Kareem still close to the back of Lolly Noba, and we're going to continue this battle. Meraki back down into 3rd. A barge for good measure as well from Nogueira as he passes Alex Gillen down into turn number 9. Who's going to hold it around the outside? We're nearly 4 wide. Oh my goodness me, that is close. Razin did try and stick his nose up the inside, but there wasn't quite the space, and now it's Gillen versus Meraki down to 12. I think well, no, they're still side by side. How could it be side by side for this? So come on, fellas, it's Alex Gillen coming out on top.
Yeah, the softer tyres paying dividends there. Back to Gillen, of course. He chose to go on them at the start of this Grand Prix. Meraki on the mediums couldn't quite hold out around the outside. He would have liked to, but Gillen, of course, had the better grip, the better traction out of the corner, and that's what's going to see him holding on to second place for the moment. But the more important thing now, we're on lap 5. At the end of this lap, they will have done enough to justify being on one set of tyres. The yellow flag's further back.
Gone.
Lolly Noba's out. We've got a safety car.
Dropped it out of turn number 1, and that is one of the perennial contenders to potentially win this race. You can see that Haas pitched in the barriers on the left-hand side, wheels removed from his wagon, and that is the first retirement of the race. Good timing for all the drivers on the soft compound tyres. If there's a moment where you want to try and switch your strategy up, now is that moment. Nogueira staying out. That is the big one. Alex Gillen, I spoke about this. I've seen this a couple of times. If you take that curb coming into the pits, it counts as a warning, and he picks up a 3-second penalty for good measure as well. Nogueira, I believe, is the only driver that is staying out. This feels a little bit like Hamilton, Hungary 2021. Wet tyres going on. A lot of drivers. This is the play, isn't it? Get those wet tyres on.
Pretty much unanimous across the board, I think, if I can see anybody bar them putting wets on, and it's the sensible thing to do. Dragonfly, interestingly enough, has gone for the intermediates, and I think that actually could give him a good bit of race pace compared to some of the other full wet runners around him. Blackmere's chosen the medium, so interesting strat from the Ferrari, wanting some good pace advantage, but of course it'll only really pay off for maybe 2 laps when the drivers inevitably pit after lap number 5, and they will get going again after that safety car. So we're going to have 3 laps under safety car. That will really help our drivers, and then they will be ready to go again, probably after 2 laps of racing.
I think what he's doing is, if he has been hung out to dry, is he diving into the pits now? He's definitely shaping over. Alex Gillen's coming into the pit lane as well. That's an interesting one. So Nogueira bailing on that. Gillen into the pits. I'm not sure what this is for, because obviously this won't count as your 5 laps on the wet compound tyres. So if this is drunk Gillen maybe making a little bit of an error here as well, what are you going to be putting on? I can't quite see. Are those wet tyres again?
Intermediates?
No,
they are for wets.
They're
Yeah,
wets again. Well, blow me down. Alex Gillen, what are you doing there, my friend? Maybe, well, he didn't pick up any damage, so I think this is just a strategy to try and get the best compound, the best wet tyres, but I've just seen he was paused.
No.
Oh, Alex, what's gone on there? So it wasn't a blunder. I thought it was a weird thing to do, and, well, at the end of the day, it was done by his AI. I think what must have happened was he had the wet tyres still selected. I don't really know what's gone on there, but
I don't know why the AI would pick you for wets in a dry track, though, because they always were like, oh, you're on the wrong tyre, get off them. To start to pull away, Razin Chai trying to make it work, but Meraki puts his foot to the floor. The lights will go green, and we will go racing once again at Yas Marina Circuit, rounding the final corner. Meraki will lead us away onto lap 9 of 58. 2 laps to go on these wet tyres, and how long can our drivers hold on to this grip for? Try and get a perspective on that in just a couple of moments. The Williams being so dark blue under the lights sometimes plays a bit of mind games with your eyes, but I think you're right. Yeah, front right end plate potentially missing.
Whoa.
The Riccio 3. Who's that in the background? That's Blackmere, who's completely sent one down the inside of Dragonflies and T. George, and I think he was a little bit optimistic. He's on the higher medium tyre, of course, but he's being pushed to the complete extent of the track limits by T. George. I'm not sure if he knows he's there.
well, it looks like they're just knocking 10 bells out of each other at the moment. I think it was Blackmere just caught up by how early everybody was braking on those wet compound tyres and slammed into the side of the Hasselhoff. I think it was Dragonflies. Off the road goes Ultra Killer into the pit. This should be another place for the Scarlet car of Blackmere. Penalty for F1 Scott, and Blackmere's out of the race. Diving into the pits they come to get rid of those blue stripe wet compound tyres. And what is the strategy now? Dale's going to be hugely unlucky. That's why he was battling so hard, because he's going to have to queue behind his teammate.
4 millimeters as well, avoiding going into the back of his teammate. Is anybody staying out? Someone is. Who's that? It's Nogueira again and Alex Gillen, both of them staying out.
Well, Nogueira had to stay out. I wonder if it's Gillen thinking he has to do 5 laps on an individual set of tyres rather than just 5 laps on the wets throughout a whole race, because he's in the same boat as Nogueira is, if that is the case. So those two staying out, everybody into the pits, and a real mixture of tyres. That's what we like to see. So wait right until the death before you put on those green striped intermediate tyres and then see what happens. Into the pits comes Razin Chai. He is one of them that has taken the pain earlier than maybe other people would have liked.
Yeah, unsuspecting for Razin Chai. What's he going to bolt on, though? And I think it is going to be set of the hard tyres. There we go. I pretty much called that strategy. I said I know my wheel knowledge from time to time. And he can run these now pretty much to the end of the race if he wants to. When that safety car, or if that safety car comes out, he's got the option going onto the mediums, seeing this race out. And I think for Razin Chai, this could have been a strategy masterclass so far. That's the question. 5.5 is what it stands at the moment, but of course he's got the 2 Mercedes.
Whoa, Nogueira's gone in the background.
Oh.
Nogueira lost it coming out of turn 14. He's facing the wrong way, taking a chunk out of the barrier almost, but that is going to make his life even more difficult. We said those soft tyres were really starting to struggle, and there is your evidence of it even further.
Well, I think he certainly could be. He hasn't used the intermediates yet, but of course, safety car could do anything. We've got to spin.
Speak of the devil.
Further back, that's going to be Dark Viper, I think. Safety car.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Whoa.
So that is going to bring Formula Kareem and Meraki right back to the pack. They're going to be cursing whoever that was. No retirees and no damage that I can see. I think it might have been a McLaren that dropped it, potentially Punju. Don't quote me on that. I wasn't quite sure. But into the pits comes Hayden Gullis and Razin Chai and Mr. Dale Nogueira with a penalty. That'll be for crossing the white line. On pit entry, and Dale's retired. Hayden's got to get off those inters at some point as well. This is suddenly all coming up Ferrari as Nogueira's retired and left, and that I think is another little unfortunate one. Nogueira hasn't had the rub of the green in this race so far, and when it rains it pours. Here's now his 4th driver to retire, and I don't imagine that was intentional either.
Effectively, the speed trap as we head round the final corner, leaving it incredibly late to go. He looks to the lights, he puts his foot to the floor, the light will go green, and we will go racing once again.
Razin's going to have to treat this restart like he's treading on eggshells. Does get past the intershot RB of Hayden Gullis, and now he's going to have to do the same to the Williams of Meraki. Who else is on the dry compound tyres? Hayden Gullis and Formula Cream both on the inters. Everybody else is on a version of the slick compound tyre, so those two could tumble through the field. Razin already trying to make mincemeat of Meraki around the outside into turn number 4. The two V-cars getting stuck into each other as Safso finds himself on the podium. That guy Vince follows him through.
Does indeed. Razin Chai taking the lead of the race at the moment. Meraki, of course, on the intermediates, looking rather helpless as things stand. Hayden Gullis went onto the intermediates a little bit earlier. I think by the looks of things, he's done 4 laps compared to 3 of everyone else around him. Formula Karim, they're using the fresher intermediates to his advantage. He swoops around the outside, and we got a VSC.
What is that for? Because I don't believe anybody is facing the wrong way. Oh, bit of damage there for Dragonflies. Maybe he's clattered into the back of someone and or the barrier, potentially somewhere around there. And now he's stopped on the circuit. And we've got a full course safety car.
Yeah, safety car back out. And I think, well, I have a horrible feeling that might have been maybe the intention of Dragonflies stopping on the track like that, which is, let's just say, unfortunate to see in the terms of racing spirit.
And we're going to have to see Meraki take those soft tyres potentially very far, along with Dart Viper. Formula Cream, we saw in the Formula 2 yesterday, he is very adept at making his way back through the field and doing it at quite the rapid pace. Razin Chai has gone, diving into the pits, is Safso's AI. Oh.
Heartbreak for Safso. He'd done all his stops. I'm almost certain of it. He'd done enough to see this race out, but this is going to release that guy Vince, who's had a bit of a poor race throughout the entire Grand Prix. Of course, he's on 1 warning. He hasn't had any penalties to his name yet, but he's had a good race. He's kind of just sat in amongst the field, qualified down in P9, of course, and now he will try and make his way through. And, of course, yeah, it's definitely his AI in the pit lane. Just getting confirmation of that in the chat.
Oh, and that was very late on the brakes for Cream. Little bit of a mistake down to turn number 5. That is a little bit of argy-bargy going on between Meraki and Alex Gillen, giving each other a bit of a shoulder barge through turn number 5. Darting out to the left-hand side very aggressively is Sir Dogan as he makes mincemeat of Ultra Killer. And this battle between Gillen and Meraki going to continue down into turn number 6. Who's going to be braver on the brakes? I think it's going to be Meraki, but on the inside goes Alex Gillen. Neither willing to give an inch. Bit of a wobble on the exit, and that could be the little mistake that cost Meraki the place.
Certainly could be. You can't allow Gillen opportunities like that, but Punger's managed to make it past that guy Vince as we head in towards the left-hander once again. Lap 45 of 58. We've got 13 laps to go. 13 once we cross the timing beam for the next time. And this is Punju up to P2. But of course, we don't forget that he has that time penalty to his name. Vince remaining penalty-free as things stand. The next person who remains penalty-free all the way down is down to P6, Hayden Gullis, who has nothing to his name. The Punja and Vince as they continue to fight further back. Alex Gillen sending a move on his teammate Matty D13. Ricky's in the barrier.
Hayden.
No, Hayden's in the barrier. VSC, no, full safety car once again on 46 of 58. We're going to have a sprint race to the end.
Oh, the drivers on the softs have got, like I said earlier on, a bit of a get-out-of-jail-free clause here, because if they jump into the pits, they can get rid of those horrendous red stripe soft compact tyres. Razin is into the pits. Look at that. That was incredibly close between Scott and Dart Viper. The Mercedes almost getting cut up behind. This is golden for Dart Viper to get off those soft tyres and keep himself very much in the fight for the win or potentially a podium. But look at that. That guy, Vince, now leading the way. Suddenly, it's all come up Aston Martin. Still going to keep tabs on the likes of Meraki and Formula Cream as well in 9th and 10th position. Is this an opportunity for Ricky to get the lead of the race? Alex Gillen's going to act as spoiler here because he's going to make it 3 wide potentially, although the space closes to the left-hand side. He's going to have to sit in behind for now. Dagovitz from the front to the back of the train, but Gillen gets his braking all wrong and goes into the back of the Williams and almost off the circuit. Nearly clatters into the Aston Martin as he rejoins. I think he may have picked up some damage as well.
He's now right on the rear of Alex Gillen. Are we going to see Scuderia and Kick Sauber go battle to battle as Datko Vince and Ricky 03? I think we'll swap positions. Are we going to see Gillen try and send it in the same place that he did last time? He's got the advantage over Ricky 03. He doesn't quite have it on Datko Vince. Someone's got off further back. I think that's Meraki going wide. Sorry, that's T. George in the Aston Martin going wide. So Meraki makes 2 positions up.
Got to be careful of Sir Dogan as well, as Alex Gillen's just lagged behind all of them. He's down into 7th place. Gillen, oh no!
I have no idea what happened there. We've got a teleporting Kick Sauber as things stand. He's backed by Meraki at the moment. He won't be too happy about that one. And of course, ignore the safety car on the top left-hand side of your screens. We are not under safety car conditions. We're under green flag racing. And now this opens up the battle for Razin Chai. Alex Gillen Team Radio, screen freeze. That would explain why he's jumped backwards.
Big yikes moment, and for the majority of the final part of the lap, he was inside Meraki in the battle for 6th and 7th place, with Formula Kareem now in hot pursuit. But suddenly, Razin Chai, once again, the favourite for this race.
Certainly is. He's got the advantage, and of course he's got the straight line speed. Down the inside it goes, and Ricky 03, podium place number 2 secured. Can he now try and battle for the lead of this Grand Prix? That guy Vince stands in front of him as he runs down towards the chicane turn 7 and 8. And what is he going to be able to muster up here? He doesn't. He does have the DRS of the Aston Martin in front. Is he going to go down the inside line? If he doesn't, I think Ricky might do it on him. He swoops to the inside, holds the defensive line. Alex Gillen, though, I think went for 2 for 1. He's past Meraki here, and he's up to P6 once again after that earlier screen freeze. F1 Scott is up to P9, but Razin Chai, the big talking point at the moment as we head towards the elongated left-hander, easily takes the race lead.
But that guy Vince is going to get in the way of the pair of them. What can Sert Dogan do in that Red Bull, thinking about potentially picking up a good result, almost clattering into the back of them? Alex Gillen once again later on the brakes than everybody else around and trying to pick them off one by one, but he's going to run out of room on the outside there, sir, and now could be at the mercy of Formula Kareem.
He's trying everything he possibly can. Of course, Formula Cream and or Meraki, who's both behind him. He moves to the inside line once again on Sert Dogan in towards the braking zone of the swooping left-hander. Dark Viper further forward, though, has broken through the field. He's up to P2. He's on soft tyres, remember, only 6 laps old, but will be dying before they get to the end of this Grand Prix. Remember back, we've mentioned this before, Nogueira struggled on 9-lap-old softs. That's what's been hurting him throughout the course of this race, and I wonder if we'll see the same fate happen to Dark Viper as well. We'll keep an eye. They're still locked wheel to wheel. Further back, the Aston Martin and the other McLaren, Punju and T. George going back wheel to wheel. Alex Gillen, though, wants to send one down the inside in towards the chicane. This time around, he's made it work. Gillen's up to P4.
He's not taking any liberties, though. Did you see the drift? As I think he just took a little bit too much of the sausage curb on the inside. Very much sideways coming out of it. Dat Govins gets second place back from Dark Viper. Meraki trying to challenge Gillen around the outside into turn number 5. Can he keep that Williams alongside? Has he got the grip and the traction? He's going to run out of road on the right-hand side. Gillen up into 4.
That could explain the pace differential. Keep an eye, though, on Alex Gillen. He's going to go for the same move that he's done multiple laps before. He's not only going to go past Dark Viper, is he going to try it on that guy Vince as well? He thought about it for a moment, swoops around the outside, gets the move done on Viper. And, of course, the dying softer tyres starting to come into their own. That guy Vince having to defend within an inch of his life.
He wants second place as well. He's not satisfied at all, but Dark Viper getting involved. Go Gillen, go up the inside. Viper trying to hang it around the outside in that Silver Arrow car. Vince goes from second down into 5th place, but it's the Mercedes that's taking the high ground. And look at that. Pocket pinched is Gillen. Meraki up the inside, and now into the back of the Mercedes goes the Kick Sauber, losing places, sliding away. Bit of a fishtail, and he drops back down into 6th place. Must have picked up damage, or maybe retiring in the pits, not sure. Alex Gillen, though, certainly giving us some highlights to look at the end of the race. Sert Dogan potentially could get on the podium for the Red Bull team, but it's Meraki with that Govins still at those ailing tyres, trying to pick up places. Gillen will not live this one down, though, as he wants to finish at least on the podium when the race comes to an end. He has got that 3-second penalty, which will chuck him out of the podium places if it stays as it is. Meraki, the pole sitter, now up into second. That guy Vince way too late on the brakes, locks up. I think Dark Viper's around the outside. And Sert Dogan, no, it's all gone wrong. Carbon fibre confetti.
Carbon fibre confetti indeed. We won't see a safety car this late on in the Grand Prix. Alex Gillen up to P3, though. He's managed to dispatch Dark Viper and Datko Vince as they got caught up in the carnage. Meraki, though, holding on to P2, but the question is for how long? With the penalty to Alex Gillen's name, he might be in a little bit of a good graces as we head on to the final 2 laps of racing. And this is going to be interesting to see. Alex Gillen, if his stream title may be as true as I think it could be, is driving an almighty race here this afternoon. He may not be legal on the streets of Yas Marina, but he's certainly legal on the circuit of Yas Marina. We had the championship wrapped up last week in Qatar, but the battle is still going on in the Yas Marina for the race win, of course, well, for the podium, shall I say, as Razin Chai 6.7 seconds clear as Alex Gillen now takes past Meraki, but the penalty will come into its own later. Certainly is indeed. It's all going to go down to this. We got someone going wide. Formula Karim couldn't quite keep it between the extremities of the track limits, but I think Alex Gillen might be able to hold on penalties alone for the final time, though. In Season 8, Razin Chai will come home to take victory. He drifts across the line. He won in the opening round. He wins in the closing round. Razin Chai takes victory to Maranello. Meraki joins him on the podium, with that guy Vince besting out Alex Gillen when penalties came into play.
And Aston Martin will if my maths is correct, courtesy of that penalty for that guy, the podium, not penalty, no penalties for Vince, courtesy of the podium, take home the Constructors' Championship as well. Formula Cream ends up in 6th place, just picking the wrong tyres right at the end. But it is now 8 Creator Series wins for Razin Chai, his 3rd this season. Starting off with 2 wins in the opening 3 rounds, fell off a little bit midway through, almost looked like he lost his way, but ending in style with an imperious victory. And a real message to everybody else, get your strategy right, and that's what he did.